everyone, it's Tanny Games here. Welcome back to the channel. We're back in Disney Dreamlight Valley because it's finally time to talk about my predictions for Cruella's arrival in Wishblossom Ranch. So specifically, we're going to be going over some kind of like friendship, decor rewards. We're going to be talking about clothing she could come with and things like that. Just things she could introduce, whether it's through questing, the Scrooge store and things like that. We have just done Tigger's video, so feel free to check that one out if you'd like. But let's go over Cruella de Vil. I am very excited to get into this one. So obviously when it comes to items that we could see come with Cruella, I guess the first and most iconic item is her car. The very iconic, the very famous de Vil car. This is obviously a very statement piece. We actually have quite a few vehicles in game. You know, we have the Stitch Fruit and Veg truck. We do have Oswald's car. We've got the Nightmare Before Christmas car. And we have various other vehicles as well. We've got motorbikes and things like that. So I don't think putting a vehicle in is too strange. And honestly, I love the look of this. It is so cool. It is, yeah, I love the red, I love the black, I love the gold detailing, I love the vintage aesthetics of it. I love how it feels slightly menacing and stuff like that. I am obsessed with it. It is such a cool item. And I think if this was like, let's say we didn't get clothing as a level 10 reward, which I do hope we do get, but if we didn't, this would be a very cool level 10 reward. I'm not gonna lie. I think this has to be one of her friendship rewards for sure. I think like, and it could even tie into the horses and the stables and things like that, how she doesn't like the vibes or aesthetics of riding horses and getting around, and she would rather travel in luxury and stuff like that, and that's where the car comes in. So maybe that's why we get it as a friendship reward. I don't know, but I think Gameloft are going to be seriously missing out if they don't include this. I feel like it's a must-have for me. On the topic of that as well, I do just want to include her black and white version from the live action movie. Again, this is seriously iconic. This, just a 10 out of 10. I don't mind whether we get like the black and white version or the red version. Obviously the red version is more synonymous with the Cruella we're getting, so obviously we're getting the animated Cruella. However, we do know that the game does take influence from the live actions, no matter how much people like to argue with me on that. It's just a fact. You can't deny that there isn't live action items in the game. There are. Keep denying with me all you want. I'm not agreeing with you. There's definitely live actions in there, so they do take inspo. So I could absolutely see them bringing in this vehicle to go alongside with Cruella de Vil. As I said, whether they go for the animated or this live action version, I don't think I'm going to mind too much. Like I said, the red's probably the most iconic, but I still think this is very cool, very fun. It's very similar vibes, still that vintage aesthetic, which is very cool. And I would be excited either way. I think it'd be fun to get another vehicle in the game. Now, obviously, when it comes to Cruella, she's all about the fashion. So I am going to cover the fashion kind of at the end. However, we do get a few glimpses into furniture and decor with Cruella. We have this scene where she's at her home and she's in bed and she's kind of like reading the news and stuff like that. And just look at this ornate 4-poster bed with the like engraved, what are these things called? The are they called griffins? You know, the lions that have wings and stuff like that. It's got like those on it. You know, we've got this very plush headboard, this ornate carving on this 4-poster bed. Something like this would be very cool. Something that kind of leans into that grand aesthetic would work so well for Cruella. You know, we seem to have like a matching bedside here. You know, we've got ornate vases. We've got fancy paintings and things like that. I'm obsessed. I think it looks cool. I also think it's hilarious that her bed is just like covered in clothes. Like we've got whatever this is down in the bottom left. We have the shoe coming out the vase. We have like her tights, her stockings hanging over the top. We've even got the bag that she wears with her fur coat. So yeah, I just think it's hilarious that all her clothing item is just like thrown off. For someone who's obsessed with like fashion and stuff like that, she's probably a bit what is the word? Careless with her clothing. Just here, there, and everywhere. But I love this, and like even the curtains on the four-poster bed, I would love to see some ornate decor like this for Cruella to bring. Now, of course, in that same scene, we do get a close-up of the bedside table, and we actually get a close-up of the phone, and I'm obsessed with this. This kind of like devil-like imagery, I guess you could say, you know, the horns and things like that, the claws and everything. It's very, very cool. I would love something like this. I really hope they lean into that kind of gothic vibe for her, if that makes sense. I really hope we get some fun iconic pieces like that. I really hope that we, you know, we do get that kind of style and look and aesthetic, and especially in bright bold well, I say bright bold colors, that's not true, in like reds and blacks is what I mean. Realistically, let's bring in those red and black colors. Obviously the gulch is very red, so I could definitely see them leaning into that aesthetic for sure. But yeah, I just think this is so cool. It's such a fun piece. And we do have a few phones in the game already. You know, we've got a few different styles. So what's another phone to the collection, eh? And then next we have the old DeVille Place house. Now, I'm not going to go into this too much. However, I did want to again point out this kind of like very ornate structure and design, this very gothic style. You know, we've got these ornate vases and fencings. This is actually very reminiscent of some of the styles that we do see in the Gulch already. So I am very excited in terms of like this aesthetic coming into the game. And hopefully we don't just sort of leave it at the building kits. Hopefully we do get some influence with like the fencing, you know, some strong brick fencing and things like that. Some nice vases and the like. And as I said, some of that gothic kind of vibe and architecture as well. Now, when we come into the old DeVille Place, a lot of the furniture's kind of, as you can see in the background here, it's not very detailed. It's very kind of like, it almost feels like it's water painted over kind of thing. It's a bit murky and stuff. However, I did notice that we had the suit of armor here. We obviously got a recent suit of armor with the Haunted Mansion and the island event that we had. So again, I guess some more kind of like armor style furniture pieces and things like that wouldn't go amiss. It would make sense again if we're going into that kind of old-fashioned era aesthetic and look. I think some decor pieces like this would be really good. And of course, all the drapery. I know a lot of this drapery is ruined because this is meant to be like an old abandoned kind of building. But again, some of this I think would look very, very cool aesthetically. And then I just want to bring a bit of focus into the room that we do see Jasper and Horace in. Again, some of the details are kind of murky, but you do see like the grand fireplace. There is a piano. I don't think we necessarily need the piano because we do have a black grand piano. We do of course have the sofa he sits on as well, which I do have a better image for, so I'll go into that in a sec. But yeah, again, some of this just ornate furniture style would be really fun for her to bring in, whether it's a Scrooge decor or friendship rewards. And again, here's a better look at that sofa. So this actually reminds me of a sofa we do already have in game. We have a couple of tufted sofas that look like this. There's like a Tiana green one. There's like a Wreck-It Ralph pink one. So again, I think this kind of look and aesthetic would be fun to have. We do have a few other pieces, so getting a few different color options is always fun because it makes it easier for styling in terms of room decors and things like that. And again, you get this look at these ornate paintings and things like that. As I said, this building is very run down, it's very dilapidated and things like that. So there's a lot of kind of like not very clean as how do I even explain it? Like these pieces are kind of like a bit tatty and worn out and stuff like that, but I wouldn't mind some of this kind of, like I said, this regal aesthetic to come into the game. And then I am going to touch on the live actions because personally for me, I adore the live action 101 Dalmatians. I think it is one of the best live actions that Disney have done. So I really want to kind of go into this because I think there's so many fun aesthetics we can pull from in terms of this. So I do have this scene, which is Cruella's office in her workplace. I mean, look at this flooring, this like zebra pan. We also have the dog statue down here, which I think is quite cool because we know we're getting some kind of like stone like dog statues. So is that a little tie in there? Perhaps, maybe. And then just look at this fan. I don't even know how to describe this style. This kind of very, it feels very modern. Would it be like, I don't know. I don't even know styles. And like the antlers we have here on this kind of like headpiece, the vase. It just, this is so cool. I'm sorry. It's so unique. So unique. We'll take a look at these chairs as well because they're pretty cool too. So yeah, this is a close-up photo and you can see the chairs. Like you can see Anita is sat on one here. Even Cruella is sat on one as well. And they have this gorgeous zebra print pattern. And I'm sorry, I am literally obsessed. It is so cool. Imagine if we get some like zebra print chairs. That would be so fun. And like, just look at how ornate this kind of, I guess this metal framework is. Like it kind of almost looks leaf-like in structure. I'm not even entirely sure how to describe this, but it feels very harsh. It feels quite harsh. I don't know if that's a good way to describe it. Like it doesn't look comfortable. Like that's kind of, it feels very harsh and very exaggerated and very awkward. I don't know if that's even the good way of phrasing it, but that's kind of the vision I get with this kind of furniture. It's not plush and luxurious. It's harsh. It's yeah, it's just strange. It's very strange. But again, I think this aesthetic would be fun to pull in kind of like some iron metal aesthetics with these animal print kind of designs. And then I couldn't avoid a look into Cruella's bedroom. This is just absolutely stunning. What, like, such a beautiful set design. This gorgeous imagery here with these, again, I don't even know what this kind of creature is. Like, it's got these wings. It's got like a human head. And then this body part, like I don't even think this is lion like I don't even know how to describe this. But again, these weird statues and stuff like that, I just think they're so cool. I also noticed with her bed in the background, it does look like we've got some animal print on there, but does the back of the bed not just look like the fawns that you can get in Storybook Vale? You know, those stony branch vines you can get. Is this just not the same thing? Like, for me, it's very similar. Like, oh my gosh. Imagine if we get this as a bed. Oh, and then all the drapery. Oh my gosh. It would just be iconic. I don't know if I have faith in Gameloft to pull off something like that, but it sure is beautiful. It sure is beautiful. I'm so obsessed. I think the look of this room is everything. We've got the mirror here. Now, this is something I want to touch on. We do have like a closet kind of space here, and we've also got the mirror. I love how we've got this fur coat, which is very reminiscent of the original animated Cruella. I would like her to bring in some kind of wardrobe. We did get Daisy's wardrobe, so I hope Cruella brings some kind of fashion decor with her, whether it's closet space, whether it's these kind of like beautiful mirrors and things like that. I feel like she needs some kind of fashion related items, and I think, you know, storage for items, I think mirrors and stuff like that would work perfectly for Cruella. Not only do I want this weird and wacky outlandish furniture, but I do want some kind of like items that feel practical and resonate with her kind of fashion status and things like that. That's what I really, really want to see. And I just think the looks of this room are so cool. Honestly, give me this aesthetic. I want a bed like this in real life. I would love that. And then we have another look at a room space. Again, look at the beautiful colors of this. Look at the branch kind of like design on the walls. Absolutely incredible. And these candelabras or whatever, where they've got like the candles on them, but then they're also like a sword shape. I'm sorry, but that is so freaking cool. These actually again remind me a lot of Storybook Vale. We have this kind of shape on the windows and stuff like that, this kind of curve shape and this kind of beige design. Very Storybook Vale, very Storybook Vale. But again, we kind of look at some of the furniture. We see this like tiger print chair, again, more animal print, more zebra print. This is what I'm hoping. It looks like there's some kind of leopard print stool that Cruella is sat on. That's kind of really what I want to see. I want to see a lot of animal print designs. I want animal print rugs. I want animal print beds. I want animal print sofas. I want all the animal print that they can give us, because I just feel like that is so Cruella. And I really would love that. And like I said, some of these details, these black candelabra stands that we have and everything, just absolutely stunning, absolutely gorgeous. And yeah, I can't wait. I hope she brings in some of this luxury to the game. And then before I move on to the fashion and things like that, I do just want to touch on this very fun end to the live action movie, where they pan out and they're actually living in this Dalmatian castle. And again, something like this would be kind of pretty fun to get, I'm not gonna lie. Obviously we know what Cruella's house looks like, so I'm not assuming we're gonna get that, but this is like a premium store house or something. It would be very fun. I think a lot of people would dislike it. I think it would have the fate of the Vanellope problem, but I love this. I think it's so quirky. To be honest, I would accept something like this for like Pongo and Purdy, like if they do arrive in the game, which I do suspect they will eventually. Like them living in a spotted house like this, I could definitely see. I could see for sure. But yeah, I just think this is so fun, so quirky, and I couldn't avoid pointing it out. And now, of course, let's touch on the fashion. I feel like it would be remiss of me to not like bring up fashion with Cruella. She is a fashion icon. From this iconic fur coat, which we know she's coming with, she obviously has a very sleek black dress underneath as well. The bright red gloves, the red shoes. She is iconic when it comes to fashion. She is absolutely iconic. So we know this is very similar to the aesthetic we see Cruella arriving. So I would just love to get some kind of matching fur coat, if I'm honest. I think it would be so fun. Like, if we can be matching fur coat besties, I would adore that. Now, in the animated movie, she pretty much only has one look. However, when we come to the live action, oh my god, she is a wealth of designs and styles. Like, look at this, all these animal print kind of designs. Like, even the one on the left is kind of like a, maybe like an alligator, crocodile, snake skin kind of design. We've got, like, again, some of the like tiger print, some of the leopard print and things like that. And even this iconic look that she arrives in this all black look with then this fur kind of like shawl that drapes around her in the black and white. It is just so iconic. I am obsessed with this. And look at these mannequins. Like, I know we're getting those kind of like weird outdoor mannequins that are covered in leaves, but look how cool these look. Like, that, I think that would be such a fun item for Cruella to bring in. Like, you know how we have the mannequin item, which has got like the start of the Cinderella gown and things like that. Imagine if we got more kind of like mannequins like that are kind of like stylized, not ones where we put our own outfits on, but ones that are kind of like preset and created. I just think this would be so cool. It would be so, so, so cool. And then, of course, we have the very iconic Dalmatian puppy design outfit. Again, I love this. Imagine if we got something like this, some Dalmatian puppy inspired. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. I feel like people are going to be outraged, but, you know, this is Cruella we're adding. It's a villain. So I feel like adding in some kind of like fair animal print designs just makes sense for Cruella. Obviously, we've got these kind of like leather gloves, which, oh, obsessed. This is something I noticed in the live action. Pretty much all her outfits will come with these like nail attachments, and again, just iconic. Just iconic. We need that. We need the gloves with the nails embedded. I really want that. But yeah, I think like if we got something like this, it would be so cool, so unique, so fun. Like, I would love that. And then I know we covered this image already. However, obviously a better look at the outfit that Cruella was wearing initially with the black details and then the slight white embellishments. Again, this kind of very high contrast outfit colors, outfit choices. I would love to see the black and white is obviously very synonymous with this style of Cruella, or this iteration of Cruella. So yeah, I would absolutely love to see that. And again, I know I touched on this image already. However, this outfit with kind of like all the feathers, like the way her sleeves are draped in feathers, because I do believe these are sleeves. I don't think it's a feather boa, but yeah. And then like, obviously we've got the feather details going around. I love the contrast of the black and white. I just think it's super iconic. This silhouette is gorgeous. It is to die for. I am obsessed with this. Such a good look. Such a good look. And then we have this look and aesthetic. And here we get some more of those brighter red elements drawn into the outfit, which I think is very fun. Again, we've got the gloves with the nail attachments, which just iconic. This one a bit more kind of like, I would say, military style, with the way we've got this embellishments on the top of the jacket. The fur hat is gorgeous. Again, some more of this, I guess it's zebra print design. Again, just absolutely fabulous. I need all the fur and animal print with her. Like, let me live out my best Cat Slater fantasy. You know what I'm saying? And then we have this look, which again, that kind of like tiger print aesthetic. And just what I love is the structure of some of these outfits. They're very unique looking. I feel like, you know, they definitely feel like extravagant fashion. How do I even describe that? Like high-end fashion. Like, we look at what Anita and Roger wear. You know, they wear very normal clothes, like everyday clothes, but this is definitely the outfit of a fashion designer kind of thing. Like, this is so extravagant, which I love. And again, what is this? This kind of detailing across the front, it kind of is corset vibes, but it's like these kind of like looped buckles. I don't know, I'm just obsessed. It's so cool. And then we have this outfit, which, oh my gosh, look at this, the snake necklace, the kind of snake print design gown, the snake like bracelet. God, oh my god, Game Loft, please tell me you watched this movie and took some influence. Please, I am praying. Absolutely praying. They did say that this DLC was going to bring in a lot of fashion, and I hope Cruella's at the heart of it. I want to see stuff like this. I want to see snake prints. I want to see snake necklaces and bracelets and bangles, and I want to see it all. I want to see it all, and just this patterning. Again, she always has like gloves on in the movie, which I think is very, very cool. I love that. And like I said, the gloves always have the nails, which I think is very, very cool. Again, another fun little detail. Does remind me a bit of Nikki. We don't really have like nails in Infinity Nikki, but we have a couple of gloves that do have these nail attachments, which, yes, please bring that in. And then this is another outfit that we see later in the movie. She's got the kind of fur detail. So she tends to have like furs and feathers all the time. This one, again, I guess leopard print or something. I don't know. But we've got this very high contrast black and white outfit. Again, it's kind of, I noticed with all these designs, they're very, like, they feel a bit abstract, if that makes sense. This necklace, oh my gosh, the gems, it's just like a full neck necklace, and it's just all gem embellishments. It's so cool. It's so cool. And then at the end of the movie, we do see a bit more red come into her outfit, where she has this beautiful red fur coat. I don't even know what this would have been from, because it's red. I don't know, but we got the red, we got the black detail. She has this red kind of fur hat as well that she wears, which I just think this is such a good look for her. The red and black really works, and I hope we do get some of that combination of design. And then even later, like, you can see a close-up of her boots, these red kind of like leathery boots. Oh my gosh, they are so, give me a pair of giant red boots, Game Loft. Please, please. That is what I want. Also, Cruella really goes through some shit during this movie. Not only this, but then at the end of the movie, when she's in the police van, she gets attacked by a skunk, which honestly, I thought was so funny. And then I was like, oh my god, in the Gulch we get skunks. We get skunks, and she's attacked by a skunk at the end of the movie. The connection was there. The connection was there. Right, let's not pretend that Game Loft aren't so obvious with their designs. And I am so gutted that I didn't twig into Cruella being the villain earlier, because really the signs were there all along. But yeah, honestly, such a funny scene. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for my Cruella predictions and things like that. So we're hoping for very high-end, very extravagant clothing and designs. We are hoping for some kind of decor that is tied to fashion, whether it be lots of mirrors or wardrobes and things like that. She could bring in some great storage options for sure. And then, of course, animal print everything. I need animal print rugs, sofas, beds, the lot. Anything that ties in that way to Cruella, I think would be absolutely fantastic. Anyway, I am very, very excited for Cruella to come to the game. I'm excited for all the characters, for Tinkerbell, for Snow, for Tigger. If you do want to check out my previous videos, they are on the channel, so feel free to take a look at those if you want to. And I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a like. Feel free to subscribe. We will be live on update day, so make sure to stick around for that, because that's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to exploring all of that with you on the release day. But yeah, thank you so much, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye guys! I want to say a huge thanks to our super top members, Angry Shroom, Spread Lake and Caroline Rose. Thank you so much for going above and beyond for support on this channel. I really do appreciate it. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.